Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by BlackRifleCoffee.com.
Welcome back to the Ross Patterson Revolution.
Oh, isn't it nice?
Sorry.
No, you said it great.
This is the first time I think I've ever been on your show.
It has. It is the first time you've been on my show.
God, I have all these friends with cool podcasts and I never get invited on.
Ever, right?
Ever.
Who else keeps ditching you?
I haven't been on Rocco's podcast yet.
Yeah. I haven't either, yeah.
So I don't know. It's okay. I guess I'll just attribute it to me being kind of stupid.
Yeah,
so.
well, I've been on Launch Code. I feel like it's you. Look, I don't want to say it's you, but it's you.
It's probably me.
It's
and
definitely
I'm okay
you.
with that,
It's definitely you.
Well, I can't always be cool.
What I like doing shows with you in person is that I get to see your lovely face up close and personal.
Right? We are.
Yeah.
We're no more than a meter away.
This is like Jesus staring at God, I feel like, where it's like, man, who is better?
Yeah,
Who's
or
better?
maybe just two rainbows looking at each other like if we combine powers, we could be a double rainbow.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
By myself, I'm just a little old rainbow, but together I'm a double rainbow.
I'm a double rainbow
You can
together.
find my pot of gold.
I want to dive into your life today, actually.
Oh, shit. Let's get in the deep end and dive in, bro.
I want to fucking really get into Matt Best, because we never really do.
I'm cool with that.
We talk about what? Cum, strippers, everything else on Drinking Bros.
That's the Drinking Bros. It's actually,
It is. I'm not going to ask you about anything about that on
cool.
Ross Patterson Revolution. Yeah, we have some classier guests from time to time. Occasionally, I try not to drag them down into the deep end of my disgustingness.
I can be classy, and then I can be disgusting.
Absolutely.
I live usually about in the middle. You know that.
You live your life a quarter mile at a time.
You've been staying at my house.
You do.
It's always
it's always classy. It's always nice. You always have the best food.
Thank you.
You always have the best food across the board.
I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
And you are actually a very, very good, I don't mean to use the word actually. I hate when people say that. Your product is actually good.
Yeah.
You are a good house guest. You
try to be.
Very, very nice.
Try to be.
When it's like, if like last night, it was like, hey, it's 10. I'm going to cruise into bed with the lady, spend some time.
Yeah,
Like, going to do my own thing in the room.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Ended up watching the Grammys on the old the computer.
Interwebs?
Yeah, on the interwebs. So it's nice. Whenever people want to overstay their hang, throughout an evening where you're just like, man, do you not get it? Or like get what's going on?
Well, I mean, if it was like a 4-day weekend once a year that I only got to see you, but we crossed paths. We were just together
we
for
hang
SHOT
a lot.
Show in Vegas.
Yeah, we hang a lot.
And it's a
nice.
school night,
But it's also a friendship bond, and I think a lot of people overstep their friendship boundaries where you're just like, hey, man, he's married. Probably wants to go in and hang out with his wife before he has to go to work in the morning. Well, some people don't understand.
Well, you never know our schedules, right? Because even today, I'm supposed to fly out, I thought tomorrow, and then it's like plot twist, you're flying in 3 hours to the airport. And so I'm like, I'm glad I got a little cuddles in with the wife last night.
Is she not going with you today?
Nah, it's just a quick trip. I got meetings all fucking day.
Because what I like and how busy your schedule is for the audience is, at first I heard you guys were going to Guatemala to meet the president of Guatemala. And that was a real thing, by the way. Yeah. You were hanging out the president of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, doing shit with them. And then now you guys are going to San Antonio. Like, changes a lot. Like, you're really moving on a dime.
Well, it's like I feel with our schedules at this point, you schedule things out maybe a month or two in advance because you're like, oh, this would be a cool experience. It might be advantageous for the company, but then the company moves so freaking fast that it's
nothing you can do.
You have to prioritize travel, or you need to make a fucking double, and that technology doesn't exist yet.
Yeah,
so.
but tell me if you feel the same way. Like parents, family members, and or wife hate that where it's just, hey, I got to go to this thing tomorrow. I'm really sorry. And they're like, what? But we have the whole fucking, and I'm just like, I know, I just found out right now. That's never good enough, at least for my family and wife.
And having a child, man, like even just being married, like I don't really get that much time alone with my wife. And, we try to travel together quite often, but even when we travel, like, SHOT Show, for instance, I mean, I'm up at 6, we try to get a quick lift in, and then the whole day I'm gone, and then maybe doing a live event until 10 p.m. And then by the time I get back to the hotel room, I just need like an hour of
gone,
catching up on some emails, maybe listening to a little music, and then
chilling out and going to bed.
Reset,
going to bed. And I want to dive into your entire life. Thank you for being on.
Of course, man.
First, I got some sponsors who pay for the show to be on the air. One of them may or may not be your company. At the top, it says brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee, and you were one of the owners of Black Rifle Coffee.
Is that a gun company?
No, you know what it is? It's a premium roast to order coffee that has delicious blends.
If I was them, I would have like a coffee club where you could get reoccurring shipments without getting charged a shipping fee.
I know.
And, prioritization as far as new releases.
It shows up to your house every single exact day that you order it. And they have K-Cups or bags. It's not like I've said these before, but caffeinated as fucking just black is my fucking jam. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. You were one of the co-owners of it.
I definitely am. You know, I consider myself number 2 in the company behind Mr. Hafas.
All right.
Been in business for, over 3 years now. And as you know, it's a sweet organization, man.
It's great.
We're more than just a coffee company. We are a culture.
Best coffee on the planet. That is not a lie, actually. Next up, we got straightrazors.com. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Jesse usually gives the old...
She's got the...
Yeah, lady of a thousand voices. So you have Dave here who's running the show. We're out of Salt Lake City today. I have Jesse. I broke the glass ceiling with her because, right around last year after the elections where I started doing my show, I decided to hire a female producer and mistake. Yeah. Women... I don't want to say they shouldn't be able to vote still because that's, but she knows, because she knows she shouldn't be driving either. And the mistake she makes. So it's
woman
nice.
Or Asian?
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to be on a thing with a nice man running the ship. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah. Unequal pay. We're a hashtag unequal pay show. So I don't let Jenny or Jesse have anything.
Did she forget
Jenny? I know. Both. I don't let her have anything. Whatever I decide to call her, Jessica.
Yeah. Do you see Noelle? I let Noelle leave the house today. I'm just kidding. She's kind of the boss around here. So.
But anyway, the one thing she is good at, the only thing she's good at is the sound effects. Yeah, she's really
I'm trying
good
to replace you, Jesse.
Yeah.
I'm trying to replace you.
What up, girl? StraightRazors.com has the best shaving products in the biz. Their kits look like they came from fucking Tombstone. It's the nice shit. They've got every product for man available. They got beard oils, conditioners, shampoo. They even got shampoo and conditioner for men. Ooh. And their aftershave Smolder, #1 ranked in the world. So is their cologne Smolder, #1 ranked in the world. I use both. But every product you need to be a man, and Father's Day is coming up in 3 months, and I know what you're saying. That's a long time away. You're going to forget. Go to straightrazors.com.
Yeah, but guess what?
Buy yourself a kit.
You think 3 months is a long time, but your father planned you 9 months before you came to this world. So the best thing you could do is rethink it and order that shit 3 months before.
Do you think your father planned it, or was he just
definitely not.
I was drunk.
Definitely
not. Drunk.
It was I was an accident, and there's a little more to the story, but I was an accident.
My mom was 20 when she had me, and I can't think that was on purpose. Of like, oh hey, I'm 20. Yep, time to plump out a baby.
Yeah,
doubt it. Go to straightrazors.com. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Last but not least, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Heard that sponsor before.
Ooh, once or twice. I put a little on myself if I'm feeling down, if my boner feels down. Sometimes I look at myself and say, hey, you know what, Ross? Your dick looks a little sad today.
Let's
how do we chipper it up? How do we
bong it?
Yeah. How do we
bong it?
How do we get it going straight 8? Straight up in the air. Strike Force Energy. The grape seems to really respond to my ball sack. I put a little on there first, and then I go original for the shaft.
Well, the grape on balls is merely, it's like what Botox to your wrinkles in your face is. It really tightens it up.
Tightens your ball
usually
area.
If you do that, it adds a little, good taste for if you get your balls licked.
Yeah.
And it makes them more aesthetically appeasing to your significant other.
And it also makes her last longer, because she's got more energy to do more things. Because it is, by the way, my listeners know.
It's called Strike Force Energy. You can come twice.
Yes, you can come twice, and it is ass-eating season. So
is there a season for that?
Yeah, well, I named it a season. So here are my dates. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Ass-eating season technically goes the last week of September through the first week of April.
Okay.
Reason being heat.
You're getting into the summer months.
Yeah. So fall and winter, ass-eating season. Spring and summer,
but plot
congratulations.
twist, your attire is going to be a lot thicker. So let's just say you get into a heated room and you plussed up for that Salt Lake City, Park City weather,
right,
and frigid.
Yeah.
And then you sit down. You're actually more of an oven than if you're rocking board shorts during the summer. So it's all about the time of the day, I believe, too.
Maybe. What I will say is this. If I'm going out and it's a colder climate like Utah, I go jacket, maybe like a long sleeve. I was never like the long underwear guy of like, man, I really got to put. I know you're not. You go flip-flops down to 5 degrees. If it's over 5 degrees, then it's flip-flop weather for you.
It is. And honestly, if there's snow on the ground, I don't care. I still wear flip-flops.
You still wear flip-flops.
As you're saying that, I have Vans on right now, and my Vans are off my feet.
Oh,
I fucking hate shoes so much.
Why is that?
Because they're coffins for your feet. I'm a peacock captain. You got to let them fly.
You got to let them fly.
You know, I'm not like the weird guy that like walks around and like gross ass floors. But like when I'm camping, I don't like to wear shoes.
You're not a shoe guy.
No,
I'm a shoe guy. Like I work in shoes. I got to have shoes on. By the way, promo code for Strikeforce Energy is 20% off, and they ship everywhere in the entire world. I'm a shoe guy always. I will wear shoes if I'm working, just even around the house, doing sketches, writing, anything. So that way it feels like I'm physically doing a job, and that's it. If I'm barefoot, that means I am relaxed. I am somewhere that like, I'm not doing anything but eating ham, maybe on a stick or something, like just unwinding, like just a simple unwind. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess my psychology is a little different behind that because I think that I had to put on kit and things for so many years doing different jobs throughout the military and government that now when I want to work, I'm like, wow, I have a laptop. That's where my workstation is. So I'm like, I just want to turn the fireplace on, cozy up the toes,
I got you. My grandfather was in the military. He was in World War II, and he lived on the beach in Long Beach Island for many, many years. And he would never let me wear shoes. So he would be like, hey, if we're going out, take your shoes and socks off. And I was like, why? Why is that? And he goes, you need to toughen up your feet. Yeah. It's important for a man to have tough feet. What? Why is that important? Like,
maybe back in the 40s.
That's what I said, yeah. But like that was his thing. He used to claim it was a military thing, and I was like, I don't.
Well,
I don't
considering,
think you are,
I don't know when you wear boots and all that. If you do a 12-mile ruck march and you have soft bitch feet, they're peeling all the layers back for sure. But then if you don't take care of your feet and you have hyper big calluses, they're going to crack really bad too. So you're kind of up ship creek without a paddle. Either way.
Yeah. The only thing I'm walking 12 miles for is
pussy.
Yeah. It's something child related to of like, oh man, your kid's sick or he's injured. Dude, great, I'll go 12 miles. Or vagina is the other one. But I'm 12 miles away. I'll be there.
Left foot in front of the right foot. We're going.
Yeah.
I did that once after I kind of stopped doing everything. I was like, man, I'm gonna rucksack again. And I think I put like a 65-pound pack on, and I was like 6 or 7 miles in. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. Like, where did you go? Did you go up a mountain or?
No, it was like this back where I used to live, and it was just this trek that I just, kind of like a runner's path, but then a little bit of mountain terrain as well. Because it's in Colorado. And it's just like, why am I doing this? My body doesn't, and knees don't need to endure this at this point in my life. So I haven't rucked since.
The only time I have hiked that I enjoyed, besides like your simple bullshit, like high school experiences where you pull up to a lake, they designate you with a spot. You've got your campfire, you put up tents, maybe fish right there along the thing. Like I haven't hiked in a long time. Big Sur as a kid was one. And then as a child, my dad would go look for Civil War relics.
Okay.
In his backyard, and there's thousands of them that he ended up leaving to me. But I thought that was fascinating. Other than that, no desire to hike up a mountain with like, oh man, I want to go on a 15-mile hike today. Like, is that?
Yeah, I don't exercise for the. Well, I obviously exercise every day, but I'm saying I don't go on like long runs or hikes unless there's something at the end. So it's like, I don't just I'm not trying to be the best at exercising.
Right.
So like if we want to go hunting or I'm preparing for like a big hunt, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I'll get down and dirty with it. But just to be like wake up and do a 12-mile ruck march, no, there's far better ways to do cardio that are like, well, that's coming from a guy who also gets punched in the face at least once a week. So I don't know if I'm a good judge of that. But
that's a hell of a workout. I would venture to say this because I went with you. Getting a workout of that intensity, it has to blow away like a fucking 2-hour hike, I would imagine, right?
I don't know, maybe close.
Because it looked like you were close to death, and not because of because you weren't
fine.
good, but
fine.
everybody else is as well. Where it's like it's so aggressive that you're like, holy shit, you were out of. I mean, you were gassed.
10 rounds of moderate
is intense.
Yeah, sparring that'll get you, man. I'm still fucking sore today. We had 4 days off at Shot.
Boy, yeah, and then we just hopped into two workouts back
two days
to back.
of me. It's fun. That's my Saturday. That's people ask me what I do. Like that Saturday is my hobby day. I mean, I usually work from like 3 p.m. on, but that 9 a.m. I sleep in till like 8:30. That's my good night rest.
Right, and
then I usually hit the gym like we did. Get a little post-workout, drive straight to my other gym, get beat up, and then it's like, okay, beer and some decent food, and then
you're good to go to relax.
It's a great day.
So look, let me ask you, since Black Rifle Coffee is blowing up and essentially exploding, you guys are gone all the fucking time. And we try to tell this to listeners, is like, hey, sometimes people are busy for shows, but I don't think really people understand your schedule. When's the last time you personally took a vacation just for yourself?
Oh, I don't know.
Like you can't think of it, right?
My wife keeps wanting to do one. I said eventually. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my travel schedule is very similar to back when I was just doing like entertaining with Article 15 clothing and then the movie stuff because I was gone a lot. And that's really when I had to like self-reflect and prioritize my life and say what's most important. Is a travel day to go do said thing worth it, or is that day better spent at home? And, but then more work comes in and you're traveling like crazy.
And you're buried, yeah.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. It's fun. Once in a while, you kind of wish you had a day or two to kind of, diffuse, and is that the word?
Yeah, diffuse. Unwind.
Chill out.
My wife made me do it one time because I probably hadn't been on a vacation that wasn't in some way, shape, or form work related for maybe 15 years. And she finally was just like, hey man, you got to take one or you're gonna die. Like, let's just go blow it out in one place, get some babysitters and whatever. And she was right. I recommend going someplace where your phone doesn't work.
Absolutely.
That was one of the keys for me, where when we landed, we got to the hotel, phone didn't work, emails didn't work. I was like, well, this is just a piece of metal that I don't have to carry around. But you feel like,
super naked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but that's what we've conditioned ourselves to. Is everybody does it, and they're texting or something, and they put their phone down, and they can't find it in the bed. You legit freak out, and you're like, wait, it wasn't even ringing. I don't know why I'm freaking out about this thing.
So I would recommend you doing it at least just one time for even 3 or 4 days, where you went to Hawaii or did something. Because it really does. When you come back, you're like, oh, all right, great. I'm grateful for this.
I try to piggyback on once. If we went to Texas a while back and spent 4 or 5 days there working, and then I just used a day or two, and then hung out with some really close friends and relaxed, and that's nice. So I try to just line them up with a work trip where it's a good location. I can sneak away for 24, 36 hours.
Where's your one place that you want to go to vacation wise, where you're like, man, I've always wanted to go to this place and I haven't been
away
yet.
From people?
Yeah, but where is that? Like Phuket, where you see those, Thailand, where you see those. My buddy had a thing where he went, and I saw pictures of it. I've never been, but it was a hut, and it appeared like their own island.
Yeah, well, they do these like islands, and I mean they're all over the place. But then they'll put, I don't know, 10 or 12 cabins, but they're all inclusive and separated. Yep, you're right on the water. Something like that would be legit. I just don't. I'm self-sufficient, independent. I don't need to be waited on, but I like. Being away from
massage is a good massage.
I'm not going to turn that down.
That'll never end. Never end. I heard they're like $40 for the entire day over there.
Oh man,
they're on staff.
I'm getting sore just talking about it.
Exactly what I'm talking about. And they just put them right fucking there for you, where it's just like, hey, you look like you've had a hard day sunning. I think you should probably sit down and let me massage you as well.
It's funny you say that because we never went on a I don't even know what they're called when you get married.
Bachelor party.
A honeymoon. I'm not
a honeymoon. Yeah.
Like you went right there. Bachelor party.
No, I don't
do bachelor parties.
So a honeymoon, we didn't either. We were, saving for a house and doing some other shit. And we skipped the honeymoon and ended up going a few years later.
That's what we talked about. We might go to exactly like Thailand or something. Just spend a little bit of money, get a remote place where we can go fish, enjoy the beach, have copious amounts of sex with each other. That kind of thing.
Well, the problem is when you work, especially a big boy job like you have, and you get married and all of that stuff, you start to prioritize your time where you're like, man, our companies, because you're relatively new, you're under 2 years, right? Black Rifle?
We're 3 years.
3 years. Even within that period, there's so much work to be done. To take a full week off to fucking enjoy your life, that's almost too much right now for somebody like you would imagine, right?
Well, I mean, you could probably make it work, but it's just if there's consistent opportunity and you never know. It's like being an influencer. You can be the coolest thing and then the next day you're not. And business is that way too. It needs the culture and community to support it, or you don't have a business if the customer base doesn't, support you. So if the opportunity is there for someone like me, you got to run with it because I don't know when we have to go search for opportunity, whereas now we have opportunity, so we kind of have to seize it and work our fucking asses
and
to
also
the ground.
Follow up.
Yeah, because it'd be almost injustice to what we're trying to do with the company and our hiring initiatives if we didn't take hold of the opportunity presented to us right now and we'll get to that. And
exactly.
It's not in our personality and DNA, just like you. So
I can't not sit still and be like, all right, cool. I'm one of those people. My wife always says that nothing will probably ever be good enough.
No, that's what I mean. Bill Foley, man, the owner of the Golden Knights. We asked him that exact question. We're like, he's 70 something. The guy is insanely successful. Could never work, probably a day in his life, and how many generations of his kids and grandkids and all that would be just fine.
Yeah.
But we were like, hey, would you ever retire? And he just goes, I figured that 6 feet under will be my retirement. Because he's just work and what he's created makes him happy. And the chase and the thrill of creating and kind of being at the forefront of business and whatever you're doing in life is what brings value to him, not sitting on a beach and not having purpose.
Yeah, my wife said it to me, and then I heard Joe Rogan say it to somebody else on one of his podcasts he said, look, man, it is hard to get over mentally in your life that there's not a better house for you. There's not a better, I want a plane. I want a better car. I want a better thing in life. And you wonder where that ends.
It's honestly kind of weird for someone like me because me, I have super inexpensive taste. I'm a foodie, so I love good booze and good food.
Good food, yeah.
But everything else, I mean, I enjoy having a nice house, but even if I made a shit ton of money, there's nothing I want. I don't even want a boat. I mean, maybe some land. That's about it. But
you do have a TV on your fridge.
That is true. But I'm not really. Shit like that doesn't amp me. More like creating and seeing people laugh and having them feel a part of something that you've built with your friends is so much. That's where I get my value in life from.
So hypothetical, Black Rifle sells for $100 million tomorrow. What does Matt Best do the rest of his life after that he would enjoy, but would also fulfill kind of that competitiveness in business to succeed in something else?
Well, I guess if you create financial independence in your own life, essentially you have the ability to focus on exactly what makes you happy. I mean, obviously there's certain components in my professional career at this point that I have to do because it's monetary gain for my family, and I'd like to own a house outright and yada yada. I've been investing my money since contracting. So I mean, if I had complete financial independence, I'd rally my best friends who are also my business partners, to include you,
right?
And we would say, what fucking awesome shit can we create to bring value to people's lives? I mean, that's really what we're trying to do now. But obviously,
I think I do these shows every fucking day. Like I don't think this would change if we were all in the same place and living together. I think I'd do one of these every morning and then kind of
it's kind of like drinking bros.
Figure out the rest of the day.
It's a structure to friendship. So we know that at least twice a week, all of us have to get on a call together or in person and laugh.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's selfish because it's fun for us.
Yeah,
if it brings value to other people's life, it's a win-win.
I enjoy everything. Because this question was posed to me as well. I enjoy everything in life that I'm doing now, and I don't know how much of it would be that different, to be honest with you. I would still do shows every day. I would still write a book.
I would take my wife on a honeymoon.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be step one. So tomorrow, I'd be like, guys, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm going to Phuket, Thailand, and I'm eating delicious food and banging my wife.
Yeah, I I'd retire my family. I would help out anybody who needed with houses and all that shit. Get everybody squared away, college squared away. I'm surprisingly, for how fucking crazy I am, I'm a safety first type of guy, both financially and
both of us are very
life.
similar.
Yeah. Where it's all right, great. The first big thing that I did once my company started making money and all of that shit was an insurance policy. For my wife, wills, like all of that stuff. I didn't go out and buy a car. I didn't go and buy a trip. I didn't do anything. I made sure financially, like everything was squared away. So if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, that was the thing.
See, I'm probably pretty terrible in that sense too. So I have zero debt, which
is great,
right? But then I don't buy anything unless I have a significant amount of backlog. Like, hey, I can live 3 years.
Right.
In this way. So because people are like, oh man, like got that, whatever, the first check of your book. What are you doing with it? I'm like, oh, I bought into my savings account, or I put it back into one of my businesses, because it's just like, I have hyper anxiety about that kind of stuff.
Same thing with the book. First check, every dollar went to an investment property. Nothing, like not one. I think we celebrated with Wings. My wife and I always go to Wings, and that's our big, like, oh, hey.
It's weird, and I'm not taking away from anybody that has expensive taste and loves the watches and cars and that. I guess I grew up like not poor, but not well off, and I've never had a hand-me-down my whole entire life. And I'm not trying to be a martyr here, but
no.
My biggest fantasy of, like, if I ever got a big payday one day would be like retiring my mom and dad, because they both work. My mom's in her 60s, my father's in his 70s, and they're phenomenal parents. And I would just love to be like, hey mom, you can work, but that's just for your fucking pocket money. Your house is paid off.
Yeah, your mortgage is done.
Yeah.
We're all done with that. Yeah.
That to me would be like fucking so dope.
Yeah, and the way I grew up was very similar, where we didn't have that much money. It was always check to check. My dad was doing other jobs because he was starting a company out of the basement and got bigger and bigger, but they didn't explode and do well until I was gone after like college.
Right.
So I grew up with that chain eating motherfucker. Like literally, and that was our big meal. Like if we went to Olive Garden or
we made it.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, oh man, Red Lobster. If we went to Red Lobster,
it's the jam.
Oh yeah, we had made it that month, where it was like, oh man, I can get the scampi and like the other, like another side.
When you look at your dad, they're like, any appetizers? Yeah, and you look over like, what do you want, son? You're like, oh my God, we get an appetizer.
It was like the greatest thing ever. Yeah. As soon as those mozzarella sticks hit the table, I was like, whoa, we're eating like little tiny kings tonight. Yeah. You start treating the waitstaff differently.
Outback, the flaming onion, you're like, oh God, yes!
Yeah. And again, you start treating the waitresses around you differently. No. I will take more of those Cheddar Bay biscuits, please. Thank you.
I would hate to inconvenience you, but I asked for standard horseradish, not creamy, please. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got an appetizer if you didn't see that. I obviously have the coin.
Ranch for everything, please. Ranch for everything. So that was my upbringing as well. So like whenever we go to celebrate things, that still carried over. Like before I got my first movie, like the big movie, New Guy. I think we went to Sizzler that night. And I had made a decent 6-figure payday and all that stuff. Sizzler. Every other meeting since has been Wings, where besides if our agents or something takes us out and they're like, hey, we're getting $1,000 bottle of wine or whatever, and that's on us. Like,
I get if it's like company stuff, but we've been in those meetings like, well, we're gonna treat you to real nice. I'm like, hey, Buffalo Wild Wings, like the grilled chicken sandwich, man, I'm good on that. Tell you what, buy me 2 beers too.
Yeah,
top notch.
Good to go, bro. And if it's a lunch, I can butt fuck a Panera Bread.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I can really get down on that, but other people look down on it like, oh God, it's Panera. Food's great at Panera. I'm not gonna, and it's got something for everybody. They're not even a fucking sponsor. I know. They should be.
Who just, Panera Bread was acquired a while back by,
they were. I
think it was Jab Holdings, I think.
Yeah. There are a lot of those, by the way, so a lot of those companies, restaurant-wise, since they're having trouble, and it's from millennials because everybody's ordering Grubhub and Uber Eats. Yeah. Therefore, most of them are shutting down. I just lost the Red Lobster in my town. I found out. Yeah, RIP. But they own Olive Garden, Red Lobster. I want to say like the Carrabba's and some other chains, and then like KFC. KFC owns like Taco Bell and all that shit. They're all consolidating, and I think it's eventually going to move to that Grubhub
Oh, and
Uber
you'll
Eats
have
type of
somehow
area.
a delivery service for every fucking restaurant out there. And
Oh, yeah.
It's all based off of convenience for sure.
Yeah, and I saw those new Domino's cars that are driverless, and I was just like, "Oh boy, that's next up."
That's next up.
Next
it's fucking
up.
crazy, man.
It's a real fucking crazy thing.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Let me ask you this: you just got married, what, 6 months ago?
Yeah,
How is that?
it's great, man. I mean, if it wasn't, I couldn't say, but yeah. Nah, man, my wife's a sweetheart, dude. It's been a crazy couple, shit. I've been on social media for 5 years now, and for me, it weighs in you a little bit because when your hobby becomes work,
Yep.
a little bit, it can weigh on you. And honestly, being out there, my personal life so much, and it's my own fault. I put it out there a lot in who I was dating throughout the years and stuff, but. When Noelle and I met, it was awesome. She's super laid back, supportive of everything I do, and just as long as I treat her well, we're golden. There's no when we just remove ourselves from not the limelight per se, but when we go to events and all that, she knows it's kind of work, and it's my obligation to hang out with the people that support our businesses and give them ample and valuable time because I just don't want to be an asshole. And then we can remove ourselves, and we're removed. We're back to just being a couple, and that's why we got married so fast. It's just rock solid.
Well, the one thing I will say is, because we've been best friends 3 or 4 years now, this is the happiest I've ever seen you. This is why I wanted to bring up the relationship. How much has that changed your life as far as a business sense goes? Don't you find that it makes things easier?
Probably made me less funny because I don't have spikes in an emotion where I'm like, that shit's crazy.
No more bikini snaps now that he's married.
No,
do you get that shit a lot?
Some people, but I mean that's just kind of like the older me. I'll still do bikini snaps. I mean, shit, we did a walkthrough video where we blew fucking chicks' clothes off with a 50 cal. I mean, it's never gonna be my wife's. Just kind of, that's
of course.
That's for me. She's young and attractive and can show it off how she wants, but there'll never be an obligation to participate in that content that way. And I think that. Being my wife, I like her a little more reserved, and that's 100%
and not
her
being
personality.
In the video.
Yeah, she can do it in the relationship stuff, but that's what you can hire models for and other people.
And a lot of artists do it. So to this point, I just saw the new Justin Timberlake video, and he was making out with a rock star hot girl that definitely was not his wife, but it's separating that for
I'm nice enough. I will never write anything in a skit of making out with a chick.
But I can for you.
Yeah. We'll talk after the show.
In a movie, Ross wrote this graphic 27-minute sex scene.
I did say if we ever did the free
2 Wheels of Loneliness
or whatever.
Janitors. Yeah.
Janitors.
Yeah.
She can be the daughter that gets kidnapped. That way I can go through the sex scene.
With her? Yeah. That's 27 minutes. Is she ready for something like that? That would be a 6-day shoot just for that. You know that, right?
Well, hey, we'll get her done. We've been practicing a lot.
Yeah. I want to ask you about Range 15. I want to ask you about the sequel. That is the question we get a ton of on Ross Patterson Revolution. Will you guys ever do a Rescue 16?
100%. Whether it's Rescue or Janitors or something along the lines with the initial cast for the most part, I think absolutely needs to happen. But everybody from Range 15 kind of got caught up in their own endeavors, people with TV shows now, business and all of that. And I think that let life sort itself for a couple years.
Sure.
And then reconvene. And then I think that will make the project a lot more fun because it's not, let's shit out a second one based off of the success of the first one.
Right.
Not necessarily monetarily, but just viewership wise. So I'd rather wait till we have a project we all really, really care about it and make it almost a reunion. That would be fucking sweet. So I'd say probably 2 years or something.
Okay.
Especially if we can have some sort of, financial backing that isn't
crowdfunded.
Yeah, crowd-based. I mean, that was awesome because we had creative control over it for the most part, but I don't want financial backing from somebody that can say yay or nay to any idea. I want us to be whatever we come up with
and then walk away.
We're going to fucking do.
Yeah. And then walk away from it. Yeah, because once you start getting into investors, and look, even as crazy as some of my movies are, I've dealt with it. The first one I learned... not my mistake because it wasn't a mistake, but when it got funded, especially when it's a higher budget like that, like a Rescue 16, the investors want their fucking input into it, and and it changes your project. And I watched this movie that I loved script wise slowly get knocked down. By the end of it, the movie was unrecognizable.
Because they're either too risk averse where they don't want to go super edgy with the content, or they feel that their opinion matters and they want to say, well, we helped write that movie, just because they had the financial backing. They want to be associated with the project and say that their input somehow, impacted the project, where it's just like, you don't write and you're not a filmmaker, you just have money.
Sure.
So you didn't
really do anything.
And then when it fails, of course, it's your fault as the filmmaker.
Oh, exactly. So. It always is. And because some people go back to a couple films that I did, and they were like, oh man, those were fucking terrible. Why did you do those? And it was just like, man, one, I didn't have any creative control on it.
Yeah.
Another one I did for money, specifically for money. And I was just like,
sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah, sometimes that happens in a fucking career, but
nothing like Folger's got.
Yeah, so that's what it is. There was one movie where I $50,000 came from a liquor sponsor, and for that $50,000, and it was in cash. They wanted their product on screen for 4 minutes, and it was oh yeah,
that's brutal. 4 minutes is an eternity in movies.
And anything. Imagine a 4-minute sketch.
I can barely last during sex 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. About a liqueur. This was a liqueur, not even if it was Jim Beam or something, you could have it in every scene, or Budweiser. Yeah. This was a liqueur. I forget the name of it, but they were on set. They made sure that it was in the scenes that it was supposed to be in and everything else. But then my character had to drink it. So everybody was like, I don't understand. Like, you were a really cool character in that movie, but you were drinking liqueur throughout it. Yeah, and you can't tell people. Liqueur. That's exactly what it was. It was orange. Oh, God. It was orange.
I just went for the worst one I could think of.
And that's what it was.
Or maybe banana cream liqueur.
It was in like a heart-shaped glass bottle too. And it was just like, oh my God.
You're just stirring in the scene. You're like, oh God.
I think I had to rewrite the scene to where the guy was drunk enough that he just grabbed anything behind the bar, and it happened to be this, and then was carrying it around for this scene and another scene. And you run into shit like that where you're just like, I don't really want to do that. So I understand it.
Sometimes you got to get that the paycheck. Fucking rent doesn't pay itself. We all know that.
It doesn't. There was another thing when we were in Vegas together that was really interesting to me. There was a bunch of us all in a room together. It was me, you, Randy Couture, Graham Allen was in there. Forrest Whitaker was also on the show. There was a bunch of people.
Forrest Griffin.
Forrest Whitaker.
Love
to have Forrest Whitaker on the show. Forrest Griffin was on the show, but we'll get Forrest Whitaker eventually.
Yeah.
Forrest Griffin was on the show, and somebody wrote in, a bunch of people wrote in, this would be like the Expendables. If it was you in the military and you had 5 guys to do an Expendable movies with, who would be your 5? I'm not in the military, so you don't have to say me out of niceness.
Oh, okay, so wait, yeah. I get a dream team of guys
of your guys that are all military.
Oh man,
because if
they all have to be military.
Yeah, because and the reason being is somebody look, a bunch of people wrote in. One person specific said, "Do you know how much money you would make if you made an Expendables movie for?" Just the biggest badasses in military. And I was
then
like,
I wouldn't be in that list because I am definitely not one of the biggest
but
badasses.
In that world, though, you're massive. Like, who else would be with you? Clint?
Definitely Clint Romeshay. I mean, Medal of Honor recipient, and phenomenal dude. I should actually say that first because that's what's most important.
He's great.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Probably pick Tim Kennedy. He's just a bundle of life. He's a seasoned gentleman.
Tim
He's a fighter.
Consistently interesting. Every day in, day out. Like, you don't know what you're going to get in a beautiful way because he
snorts like 7 lines of life every morning.
Every line. Like, his energy is on another fucking planet. Like, and I have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But Tim Kennedy's energy is incredible.
He's on it, man. Good dude too.
Dakota, I could see Dakota.
Yeah, Dakota for sure. I'm just going with all the badasses around me. I'm just going
Marcus Luttrell would be fun in there. He was fun to work with on Range 15.
Well, I'm going to give a shameless plug to Tom Spooner. He's a retired absolute badass, and he runs the Warriors Heart Foundation. So I want to plug them because they do some rehab for people that have substance abuse, and they also do LEO, EMS, veterans. Anybody can go to their program. It's phenomenal, and he is a living fucking legend. So you could probably just put him and replace all of us with him, and then he saves the world, and that's totally just.
Yeah.
So
I like the pitch, and when I read that, I was like, fuck, I don't think we've ever seen that before. Because they've put in, obviously veterans in movies. What was the fucking SEAL one? Act of Valor or...
Act of Valor. I mean, those are all, I believe,
They were
SEALs.
real,
They're
yeah.
reserve SEAls, I believe. I might be speaking out of context, but I mean, that was the Navy essentially helped fund that. So it was a recruitment tool. I mean, God.
Right.
Brilliant.
With all of this, dude, a veteran expendable list would be, that would be an awesome fucking movie to say.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be in it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
As long as I can always shoot from the hip, like Arnold back in like Commando or something.
That's your guy.
That's my dude, man.
That's your dude.
That's
yeah.
my dude.
That's your dude.
I didn't hear him coming. I smelled them.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. He's fucking Commando, man. I could watch that shit all day.
Yeah. That look, there's a lot of fucking shit like that. Like, because there was a rumor that Ronda Rousey was going to do one.
Do you see she just signed with the WWE
last night? So that popped up last night,
Yeah.
and she signed like a 5-year deal. This is like a no joking around, like, and she's not doing just appearances.
Yeah.
She is going to be
in the ring,
like the fucking Rock.
Brilliant move by her. Fucking.
That's what I think. And financially, don't you think they backed up the truck for her?
Oh, 100%, because she already has the personality. She has that legacy of being a legend in the sport. She knows she can't compete in the UFC anymore based off of the up-and-coming talent like Amanda Nunes and all these other chicks that are not
Cyborg,
great at one discipline. They're fucking hammers at everything. And so I think that was probably her agent was like, hey, let's get you into this because she'll be phenomenal. She knows, probably coaches the WWE guys on judo throws and how to do crazy-ass shit. And those are big, big paychecks. I mean,
she walked into the ring last night and people went bug fuck.
Really?
Oh, I mean, everybody stopped. And she came out.
And what white, like, I don't say all white trash to watch WWE, but like, come on, that's like Ronda Rousey. I mean, that's hell yeah.
You know, the thing about it is, and this is what a lot of people in entertainment don't realize, WWE financially destroys across the board.
Yeah.
People buy their merchandise. They buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They buy all of that shit. Whereas, you know, there's some elements of sports, especially Hollywood related, where it's just they don't understand. Like if you took a WWF or WWE star like The Rock, John Cena, those guys are destroying Hollywood because they have such a massive fan base.
That's exactly why.
Those are the people who are actually paying for shit. So even though they're perceived as white trash or redneck, that's your audience. Like they're really
and that
buying
was just
shit.
a blanket stereotype. I don't think there's a lot of
it is.
diversity that watches it.
It is, but I guarantee you, every person would kill to have that audience of like, shit. Now Rhonda is stepping into that world.
Well, yeah, and she'll pull her, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's the back end of that deal was, hey, you have the X amount of deliverables as posting as far as, subjecting your audience to the WWE and all that. And I mean,
when I watched, here's the fucked up thing. When I watched it,
you're like, I might watch her.
That's serious. I was like, maybe I should turn this back
Saturday
on again.
night and you got the WWE on. You're like, motherfucker, they got me.
Yeah.
It was like when I paid $100 and whatever for fucking Mayweather and McGregor. I'm like, they got me.
They got me.
So, sons of a bitches.
That Monday Night Raw series, because I look on Twitter, but doing 5 shows a week, I'm always looking for the top subjects and things to talk about. Every Monday, it's either 1 or 2 trending as soon as Monday Night Raw hits, and it's like, God damn it, still to this day? Like, as a kid, that was my jam.
Well, of course, I think it was, and then you have a lot more, like when the UFC came on, why would you ever watch wrestling? But I mean, I think there's a huge entertainment component as far as the WWE, and good on people that watch it. I can't get behind it. It's just so fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
But those guys are honestly like crazy good athletes. And I think that's one thing you can't talk shit on is, they're doing like fucking double backflips onto, slam moves. And they're crazy athletic.
Well, when The Rock was in it, I used to flip over occasionally. John Cena was always funny. I like the guys with personality. The problem is there's nobody with a personality anymore. That's why The Rock is still going back. Like if you notice, him and John Cena still go back for the big events.
Really?
Yeah, they get their giant appearance fee, but they also don't want to leave that audience. So this allows them to go back and forth into that world. But the reason
John Cena.
Yeah, exactly. John Cena is still the best sketch you've ever shown me, by the way. The John Cena prank call on YouTube.
Dude.
If you haven't seen it, best sketch ever. But the reason why I was bringing up Ronda Rousey was there was at the time an Expendables movie that was going to be the Bells with the top badass females in it. It was going to be like Gina Carano and some other people. I think now with a Ronda Rousey joining WWE, getting her name even bigger than it was, a movie like that is now possible. I'm sure that was in the back of her mind of like, all right, cool. I want to be John Cena. How the fuck do I become John Cena in movies and things like that?
Or if you just talk to a lot of MMA guys, they're like, if other opportunity presents itself that pays more, and then you don't have to do the whole punching in the face thing.
Yeah.
They're kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm in my late 30s. I'm kind of over getting fucking socked in the head for a couple $100,000.
I can't see somebody like McGregor doing it though, going to WWE.
Oh no, that guy's smart. He surrounded himself with a lot of businessmen. Like I know he's trying to get points in the UFC for his next fight.
Yeah.
And
If he fights Nate Diaz, who do you want him to see fight? By the way,
I don't know. I think the most entertaining fight is probably
Diaz.
Take 3 with Diaz.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, like Khabib and all these other guys.
He'll never fight Khabib.
Dude, no. I mean, it's
That's
a
too much.
terrible matchup for him. And honestly, the money won't be there in that fight unless Khabib's more in the hype train and wins the belt. I don't know, but it's. I don't know where he fits.
If
but
it's
he has a
Diaz, we
contract.
go.
Oh yeah,
we go. One of the best sporting events I ever went to in my life was when we saw McGregor at Madison Square Garden.
It's a fun time.
Fuck. I think that was maybe the first time I saw UFC in person too.
That was the first one I've ever been to with Eddie Alvarez when he won this second
and
championship belt.
I was worried that there was going to be a cage and how far away you were and all that stuff. I mean, we were goddamn ringside, so it was awesome. But with the cage, I was like, maybe there won't be angles I'll be able to see because I've been to a lot of boxing matches and it's open.
Right.
So you can at least see from a lot of places, but I didn't have a problem whatsoever. And I was just like, God damn, this is amazing. Like after going.
Sometimes like the submission work and when they're on the ground, it's hard to see exactly what they're doing on the side of the body. So you have to look at the monitor. But it's a good experience. I think you got to go to at least one. I mean, the energy of the crowd.
If it's McGregor Diaz, we go. I don't care where it's at.
I'm in.
I don't care where it's at.
And then Daniel Cormier, not to talk too much MMA, who's 205 light heavyweight champion, is stepping up to fight Stipe Miocic.
July 7th.
For the heavyweight title, which is champion versus champion. Man.
Who wins that? Yeah.
That is just a fucking great fight.
Every time I shit on Cormier, he just keeps winning. And
You're
it's
like, look at this cheeseburger eating motherfucker. Okay, he just knocked that dude out. Okay, he just submitted that dude.
I'm ready to stop betting against that guy. And I'll go Cormier that fight.
All right. I mean, Stipe's a beast, dude. He's fucking whipped up on Ngannou.
Yep. But I
just love this sport, you know?
Yeah.
I love it.
I still think he's got one more thing in him.
Just one more.
Yeah, just one more fight.
Like that voice is gonna be stuck in my fucking head all day.
Tell the audience you did a great sketch. That's of the planet Earth.
Just did a little funny, silly one that
we recorded. Really funny. The voice was great.
Oh, you helped me.
The voice was fucking awesome, though.
Been watching too much.
I'm a big fan. That's like your jam. That's your go-to.
I enjoy it. You can check out. There's no politics in animals. It's just nature, and I love it.
Who do you go TV show-wise? Because you don't watch a lot of TV.
I don't watch any TV.
And so nothing at all. Because your wife watches Black Mirror. I'm a Black Mirror guy.
She watches, Black Mirror. Well, occasionally when we're like going to bed and have my laptop, we'll like put on Family Guy, but I've seen most all Family Guys. Whatever she's into, she watches like background, noise for the most part, but I just know I can get sucked into TV shows. Back in the military,
and movie, yeah,
dude,
you
that's
don't watch...
to burn time. I was just overseas. I would run through all the seasons of every freaking show.
And now you don't watch anything.
I can't, man. No. I feel so guilty if I burn 2 hours. I feel so guilty.
Live sporting events is about the only thing I see you watch on a consistent basis.
Yeah, UFC.
You play a lot of music, too.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Like a lot. So like around the house, you would rather pick up a guitar, play stuff and record stuff than watch a TV show, which I think is actually better because at least you're doing something productive with your time.
My brain,
yeah.
I enjoy that more than sitting down and kind of being lethargic and watching someone else entertain me. But at the same time, you do have to be entertained to derive inspiration as an artist.
Yeah.
I'll never call myself an artist.
So what is that inspiration? Mine is music.
Yeah, me too. You and I are both musical.
Yeah, but I like to go see them in concert as well. So that way I feel like, all right.
I don't like people, so I don't go to concerts.
That's what it is, right?
Seriously.
Yeah, no. Yeah. That's your thing. Yeah. You hate the people.
Like leaving SHOT Show, we stayed too long and it was closed out and you're in that group of people like cattle carting out. And I was like, man, this is exactly what I love to do with my fucking life is be surrounded by like 6,000. I hate it so much.
Yeah, you don't like people.
No.
I mean, not. By the way, to clarify for the audience,
I don't like people.
Yeah, well, it's not that you hate people, but big crowds. You'd like to. You're more of a homebody.
Yeah, I like being mellow and being very in control of my environment. And the more people you add to that, and the more distractions, it's very heightening for me and overstimulating. And I'm very on not edge, but it just I can't relax in those like
situations.
Big crowds and all this, and especially with my wife and stuff. I'm like thinking about, okay, who's this guy looking at me, this and that, and it's my own problem. It's nothing from like the military. It's just kind of how I'm genetically built.
Yeah, but your online persona versus who you are in person is so drastically different. People would expect the opposite of like, oh, I bet you Matt's out doing shots on top of a bar.
I'm really crazy for sure, but it's very compartmentalized. I'm at home drinking, maybe a 3-finger thing of scotch or whiskey.
Three
but I'm
fingers.
Three.
Yeah. McConaughey, that was his thing. I'll never forget. I worked a party for McConaughey, and that was what he always said. Hey man, just give me 3 fingers of tequila in a glass, and that's
it.
Yeah, but he did it 19 times, and it was like,
of course,
boy, you were fucking housed, sir.
That's a good thing about going to Texas. They'll be like, I only had 3 whiskeys. Now they're going to be like quads, but
Yeah.
You judge it by the what was that? The vessel it comes in. So
the vessel,
just
the girth of it. Oh shit! One thing I wanted to tell you about that Rousey thing last night, which was awesome. Roddy Piper's family gave her the jacket since she took the nickname Rowdy from Mr. Piper himself. Yeah. They gave her the jacket and the T-shirt to come into the ring last night.
Oh shit! That's awesome.
His actual jacket. Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
So I was like, way to go.
Full circle.
Way to go. I want to chat about the book now.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck.
I've talked about this on my show so I'm blue in the face. We've had listeners, they don't understand.
Well, neither do I. So
we finished that in June of 2017, right?
Which reminds me, I need to send another email today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But we've been done we're going on month 8 at this point. Yeah. Explain the process for the people at home that may not understand it, because I don't want anybody to think it's us. The publisher signed off on it.
Yeah,
we finished
when I was on Dakota Meyer's podcast, I spoke on it a little bit. Yeah, ultimately what happens, especially if you want to like really, cross your T's and dot your I's, is getting DoD approval. Because I do tell a few war stories in this book, and I'm very, understanding of operational security and OPSEC. And, obviously you co-wrote it with me. We don't put any time, exact places, exact names,
locations.
None of that. No. It's just super basic stuff. It's like this happened in this circumstance, and that's about it. But obviously, we want to get approved to make sure we don't piss anybody off at the DoD or at the military. But unfortunately, the second we finished it, we approved, and then it went to the DoD. And there's kind of been like a mix up with them over there. I don't know. Shit, man. If anybody has a direct line to that office, we have one POC there, and she works a lot, and I bet it's a very challenging job. But ultimately, they like sent it for another approval, which I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the narrative, because we're very just fuck it kind of.
Yeah.
But we speak very highly of the military. Not once is there anything negative, or even the connotation is negative. It's very pro-military, obviously.
Yeah.
It's where one of my favorite places I've ever been was serving the military. And
because you're one of you're one of, and I would say it's 50-50 with military books. You're one of the few people who loved it, enjoyed it, talked about your time, what a great time you had in it. There is other people who are just like, I hated it, I was bored, I wanted to get out, blah blah blah. And you were not like that, so I can't.
Well, that's the weird part, because there's all these other books that are like contemporary events, and they're timelining it. They're naming specific individuals that were on those targets. That's not what my book does. Yet they got approved by the DoD. So I don't know where the holdup is. Maybe there's I banged someone's girlfriend back in the day or something. I don't know, man.
Did you ever talk to Tonto? How long was his process, I wonder?
His was, I believe, like 7 months.
Okay.
So it's about where we're at
now, yeah.
But yeah.
Because we do want that out for the people, and I know I've talked about it a million times.
You like dump your heart and soul into something,
yes,
and then
and you want it out.
Hey, wait a year.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the hardest thing, when you're just like, man, this, because it's great what we've done. I just want it out into the world for people to see. And that question's happened a lot. Last but not least, we do something called the Revolutionary Figure of the Day on our show. Is there anybody in your life that was a revolutionary figure that you looked up to, maybe either starting your YouTube channel or Facebook page, that you were like, man, if I could be like so-and-so, who would that guy be?
I've said this a lot. I'll throw it out to my former team leader and squad leader, who were KIA and objective with me, and those guys really just they defined to me what being a man and being a ranger was. And honestly, this is my second deployment, and it was a pretty shitty situation. And I think that I just looked up to those dudes about being a dude, like just being a good guy and realizing how fragile life is. And they kind of unknowingly taught me so many lessons, and I still live to this day just by their example. And so absolutely, those two guys. It was a very definitive moment for me.
Sure.
I was, 18 or 19 when that happened. And
you're talking about Bremen Barraza, brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sergeant Barraza. And so, at the time, I was just a kid thinking I was invincible, and you kind of really set your standard. You look up someone as a mentor. I want to be like that. I want to be fucking strong how he is. I want to be as good a shot as he is. And yeah, so.
That's awesome.
I define my whole life by those guys, so.
As well you should. That's a big moment in your life. Black Rifle Coffee as a company, you guys are moving to San Antonio. You're going there tonight.
Yes.
Are you excited? Yeah. Are you excited? Is this going to be your final resting place, you think, for the company itself?
Yeah, corporate for sure. So like Utah will still be here. This will be production in Salt Lake City roasting. And then we're moving to Texas. There's some good tax incentivization there. There's
great tax incentive there.
Yeah, and that's not really why. We really want to bring the company to the people that support us. And Texas is by far per capita the largest supporter base across our social for the company. And so just bringing corporate headquarters to Texas, opening our brick and mortar retail shops. It's kind of where we want to start the new era of Black Rifle Coffee, and then obviously take it nationwide for retail stores. So it's going to be a grueling process, but a very rewarding and fun one at the same time.
Yeah, and when I was in Las Vegas, I saw you guys, the Golden Knights game, which I was crazy. That's the NHL. To try to crack the NHL, MLB, or the NBA is really hard. Is there any more of those in the future, as far as like maybe the Dallas Cowboys would be a great fit for Black Rifle Coffee?
I'll say that would be a great fit. I hope to potentially work with them in the future.
Mark Cuban also owns the Dallas Mavericks. That would be an awesome fit for you guys. He's very pro-military.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what we need to do with the company is make it more not just niche audience, but bring it to just America as a whole, and then have people support the message that we're bringing and be like, wow, I can vote with my dollar. I can support this pro-military and pro-law enforcement coffee company that's not only saying they're going to do awesome things, they're actioning on it. And oh, by the way, here's something you can see we're doing for the community. And by supporting us, that's what the fuck we're doing. And we're kind of hopefully revolutionizing the way people look at business, where we are for profit, obviously, but at the end of the day, we are going to give way more, where it's not about nickel and diamond, cutting points, barely fractions of points off of percentage points and higher profit margins. It's more like, no, how do we create a community that we enjoy and we get a laugh? What's $1 million, or what's 1.2 million? I'll take the million if that makes the company grow and have more fun. Not me personally, but the company.
Sure.
So.
Sure. And speaking of revolutionizing, thank you for being on Ross Patterson Revolution.
I'm just freaking out, Ross.
This is Matt Best. You're not only one of my best friends, but you run arguably my favorite company in the United States, and it's awesome to see you guys grow. Yeah, help run. Exactly.
It's a team.
Evan's not here.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It does. It does.
All me. Evan doesn't do anything. Actually, no one at Black Rifle does anything. No. I wake up and do 112 people's job.
I wake up, I sit on my throne, and then I wait for everyone else to come and bring me stuff.
No, we have an amazing team at Black Rifle. Or the guys that work for us are fucking phenomenal. So
it's awesome. Look, you're one of my best friends, one of the funniest guys I know. Thank you for being on the show. From Mr. Matt Best, I am Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good night, everyone.